And on the 90-day program, the psychology side, how was that? What was your experience of that?
I think that was the tougher part for me to sort of really integrate. I think to start with, I did, even though I came away thinking I'm not going to be too, militant about this. I probably did start off being like, right, get up, use the tools,
right.
And then if you feel sort of being far too aware of it, I think, okay. And sort of immediately if I felt a certain negative thought or something that I thought wasn't helpful, I'd immediately start using the tools, but in a way that probably wasn't too conducive to actually creating a relaxed and positive state. So it probably took me about a month or so before I just was far more relaxed with it. I felt, actually, you're not going to get better tomorrow, but maybe next month, maybe the month after. And then that to me, and actually sort of rationalizing the time frame became to me a really important step, and saying, you know what, you've probably got, fingers crossed, reasonable length of life to live. So what's a couple of months?
Yeah.
Spend the time, be relaxed about it. You've been taught a number of things to use them when feels right. And when I adopted that approach, which was quite different to the approach that I'd had, which was very panicky, very much sort of, almost like a reactive response, I think. This was far more sort of thoughtful and relaxed and taken at a pace that I think suited me at that time. And the whole thing calmed me down a lot. And I immediately, actually probably before the 2 months I'd set, started to feel far more energized. Or I think the first thing I noticed was actually I just slept better.
Right.
I didn't necessarily have more energy through the day, but I felt sleep was more refreshing.
You were more in a healing state, at least. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing when you're doing work on your mind and emotions, and then there's an impact in your physical body. And I think there can be something that's quite powerful about the recognizing the association between those two things. I don't know if that was your experience, that when you notice that, hang on, I've been calming myself down, and now I can see that I'm actually sleeping better.
Yeah. I think it took me a while to notice that in terms of the correlation, but I think you're right. When I sort of had sort of felt, I remember just walking through the botanical gardens in Belfast, and I just suddenly stopped and looked up at sort of some of the trees, and I was like, I actually feel very calm. And I think it was quite confusing, and I think I just sort of burst out laughing, and just like, okay, and I carried on. And that to me was a very odd thing, because it's not something I would have normally done at any stage of my life. Just stopped and looked. I would have been sort of go, So that was a point when I realised that I think everything started to sort of early doors at that time, but was starting to fall into place.